We're making a list of must-dos, and we're checking it twice. We're talking the good, the bad, and the downright goofy. We got a lot of stuff to cover, so hop in the sleigh as we jingle all the way to the 2025 Epcot International Festival of the Holidays. Let's go do it. Hi, ho, 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 everybody. This is Rob with Ear Scouts coming to you from my favorite of the Epcot festivals, the Festival of the Holidays. In today's video, we're going to be talking about all of the things that you absolutely must do when you're here. There's some things that people skip all the time, and trust me, they are the best part of this festival, and you don't want to miss them. Plus, we're going to be reviewing all the different cookies on the cookie stroll. There's a whole lot of sugar at this year's festival, and that's why we're also going to review some new items and returning favorites that are not filled with sugar. We've also got some helpful holiday tips to share. We got so much to do. I think it's time to jingle all the way to our very first holiday kitchen. Let's go do it. Our first stop is Communicore Hall, which is basically ground zero for the holiday cookie stroll. For starters, there is pretty much the biggest holiday cookie ever inside. There is a gingerbread spaceship Earth, and it is so cool to look at. It does a full holiday light show, just like the real spaceship Earth outside. There's a timer right there when you come in, so you can see the countdown to when the next show is gonna happen. So if you come through and it's almost about to start, you should definitely wait and see it because it is very fun to watch. Of course, there are lots of things to do inside while you're waiting for that countdown to finish, and one of them is getting in line for the holiday kitchen. Experimental prototype cookies of tomorrow is the holiday kitchen inside Communicore, and they have 3 different cookies that are on the holiday cookie stroll. This year, believe it or not, there are 13 different cookies to choose from. If you've never done the holiday cookie stroll before, it is a returning event at this festival. The idea behind it is that you get certain holiday cookies at different food booths around the park. Whenever you purchase one of those specially marked holiday cookies, you're gonna get a stamp in your festival passport. Once you collect 5 different stamps, you can take it to Holiday Sweets and Treats and collect a special surprise. Unfortunately, right now, they are out of one of the experimental prototype cookies of tomorrow. They have 2 on offer, so we're gonna try those 2, and we might see what else we can get up to while we're inside. Let's go do it. I went to go see you where you were last year.
Okay.
And there's something very goofy happening over there.
That's what I've been told as well. Now tell me, what's one wish that you have for Christmas this year?
Oh gosh. You know what? I hope that next year I'm as happy as I am right now because I'm having a wonderful holiday season.
Amen to that.
Lord, we adore thee, and in my life I put none before thee, because I was a youngster, I came to know that you was the only way to go. So we sing, joyful, joyful, Lord, we adore thee, yeah.
That was perfect timing. While we were in there, we were able to catch the Spaceship Earth show. We had some time to meet Santa, do a little bit of shopping. Of course, we got some cookies, and when we were coming out, it was the tail end of Joyful, a celebration of the season. Communicore Hall really has become the epicenter of festivals that it was originally intended to be. It's taken a while for it to get there, but I think it is really there. You've got 2 stages behind Communicore. One is doing festival exclusive stuff, and then the other one is doing the Encanto show during the day and different kind of dance parties going on at night. This really is a great hub of activity now. The inside is decked out for the different festivals, and oftentimes we'll have a food booth. Plus there's a permanent food booth on the outside that features favorites from festivals past. So this really is a great place to get your festival day started because there's just so many things to do right here. But let's talk about those cookie stroll cookies. As I said before, we were only able to try 2 of them because one of them we're gonna have to come back and get later today. But one of them was my favorite from last year. It was the Spaceship Earth cookie. It's 2 different types of sugar cookies, and sandwiched between them is some dulce de leche, like caramel filling in the center. And then the whole thing is topped with a crunchy, sugary sprinkle topping and a little holly decoration. I love that classic flavor combo of a rich buttery sugar cookie with that caramel sauce. This one is very good again this year, though I will say the other cookie I actually liked even better. This one is my kind of Christmas cookie. Number one, it's got lots of gingerbread flavor, and it's been baked into a perfectly soft and chewy holiday cookie, and then add on some cream cheese frosting, and you definitely got me now. This is a really strong start to the cookie stroll. Normally the cookies are, well, they're just kind of okay usually, but so far, Epcot is batting 1,000. I loved both of those, and I'm looking forward to trying cookie number 3. Nochebuena Cocina is located over by Festive Fragrances, which is kind of like a big ad for Scentsy, a company that makes nice smells for your home. As you walk through, you'll see some different displays that emit a smell that you might want to have in your home for the holidays. Unfortunately, when we were here, a couple of the smells weren't working, and the speakers that were here were kind of blown out. I don't know. They were having some issues here this morning at Festive Fragrances, and I would say if you're making a must-do list, you could probably leave this one off. However, I would still come to this area to check out Nochebuena Cocina, which has one of our returning favorite menu items. It is the plant-based chorizo tamal, and man, they have packed so much flavor into this tiny little package. It's like a stocking stuffer of tangy, zesty, spicy, and surprisingly meaty flavors, all wrapped up inside a pillow of masa. Even though it is plant-based, it does have a distinctly meaty flavor to it. I also love the zippy, tangy sauce that's on top. It's got so much flavor and it is just delicious. If I was gonna nitpick, I would say the masa is just a little bit odd texturally. It's almost like a little gummy, and I think that's just something that happens as they transition away from lard to what I'm assuming is a much healthier plant-based alternative. They also have a new savory item here that I was excited to try out. It is a pan de jamon, which is a traditional Latin-style bread wrapped around ham, and there's some raisins and olives in there. The problem with this was that bread itself was so dry. I mean, if this was any drier, someone would be coming to turn it into stuffing. It was almost ready to become breadcrumbs. It was really dried out. Also, the ham didn't have a whole lot of flavor. It wasn't very juicy. I'm kind of wondering if this is one of those things where it had just been sitting under a heat lamp forever and ever, and that was kind of the main thing wrong with this dish. I will say though, I love the salty and sweet double punch of the raisins and the olives, and it made me really want to try this dish freshly prepared and maybe at a legit Latin restaurant somewhere. Finally, there is another cookie here that you can get for the holiday cookie stroll. This one is returning from last year. Full disclosure, we didn't love this one last year. We just kind of thought it was okay. It's much better this year. It's a cinnamon spiced chocolate cookie. And I think last year, if I'm remembering correctly, we said that we wished it had a little bit more chocolate flavor to it. I still feel that way, but the texture this year was so good. The outside was a little bit crinkly and crunchy, but the inside was like a fudgy brownie. It was chewy and soft and just a perfect texture for a cookie. I also loved the really simple, it's almost like a cinnamon sugar icing on top. Not a whole lot of flavor other than just a little added sweetness, and that's what's bringing the cinnamon flavor. While it's not one of my early favorites on the list, it's definitely worth checking out if you love those kind of soft, fudgy cookies, or if you're a fan of cinnamon and chocolate. Our next stop is Mele, Kalikimaka, where you're going to find the holiday flavors of Hawaii. We came here mainly because this is our next stop on the holiday cookie stroll, but we had to try one of our former favorites, the Kalua pork. We didn't love this one last year. We still thought it was good, but not as good as in years past. So we wanted to see if it had returned to form. I'm sad to say, the pork was really good. The pork itself was delicious. It was very juicy and flavorful. It was on the salty side, but everything else was just kind of okay, which is the case last year. The purple sweet potato base had a really great texture, but it used to have this rich coconut flavor that was just heavenly. And this year, I don't know, it just didn't have a whole lot of flavor. Also, the mango salad on top, I don't know if it was supposed to be this way, but the mangoes were not at all ripe. So they weren't sweet at all, they were more sour and very crunchy. As for the cookie, this is the first true dud, I think, of the holiday cookie stroll so far. You know those sugar cookies that you get from the store for free for your kid? They're usually sitting out in a little thing that you can open up and take the tongs. And they're just almost kind of stale tasting a lot of times. They're not the best cookies. Well, that's kind of the case with the base of this cookie. It's not a crunchy cookie. It's not a soft cookie. It's like a soft cookie that just kind of became dried out and stale. It's just not a good cookie texture at all. That said, I will say it's an improvement over last year because it does have a good, strong coffee flavor this time. Last year, we didn't feel like it had a great flavor or a great texture, but the flavor was there this time. I got coffee from the icing, and I really did enjoy the dark chocolate coffee beans on top, but that was probably my favorite part of this altogether cookie. Before we head into World Showcase, we gotta check off the 3 C's. Coffee, another cookie, and creations. Over at Joffrey's, they have a new holiday beverage exclusively for the festival. Now, in previous festivals, they've kind of done a different beverage at all the different Joffrey's locations. Those have been kind of hit or miss, but this year, they just decided to focus on one delightful holiday beverage and put it everywhere. It's a holiday cookie latte. We tried it both hot and iced. I actually thought it was really good both ways. For me, I preferred it hot. Eric preferred it iced, so I'd say whichever one you're in the mood for is gonna hit the spot. Although it's called a holiday cookie, it kind of has more of an amaretto flavor. There's almond syrup in there, and then there's also some caramel syrup to add some extra richness and a little punch of sugar. It is definitely sweet, but I wouldn't say it's overpoweringly so. I really enjoyed this one, and I'll probably continue to get it as long as it's available during the season. Of course, we had to pair the coffee with one of the cookies that's on offer next door at Connections Cafe, aka Starbucks. Yes, we could have gotten both coffee and the cookie at Starbucks, but I wanted the Joffrey's holiday coffee. The cookie at Starbucks, this is probably one you could skip. It's a traditional sugar cookie. It tastes kind of like the one you get at the supermarket. I mean, it's pretty well made. It's nice and soft, but nothing to write home about. And our last stop before we head into World Showcase is gonna be Creations. Now, the reason we need to stop at Creations before we head into World Showcase is because of this guy. So this is Olaf's Holiday Traditions Expedition Scavenger Hunt, and if you're planning on doing this while you're here, you definitely want to pick this up before you go into World Showcase, because that's where you're going to find Olaf. He's going to be hidden around the World Showcase, showing off some of the different holiday traditions that happen in that part of the world. If you pick this up after you've already been in World Showcase, you're going to have to backtrack probably to find Olaf in the countries you've already been through. In fact, I just realized I should have gotten this even earlier because there was an Olaf over at Communicore Hall that I missed. This year, the prizes for completing the scavenger hunt are some really cute holiday plates. We saw them when we picked up the scavenger hunt map over in Creations. Of course, you can do the scavenger hunt without buying the map, but if you buy the map, you get the fun stickers to stick on the front when you find Olaf, and you get to turn it in for a holiday plate at the end to commemorate the occasion. With all that out of the way, I'm gonna head back to Communicore, find Olaf, and then we're gonna head into the World Showcase. Let's go do it. So I was on my way into the World Showcase, and I goofed up and I ended up here at the Odyssey Pavilion, and I gotta tell you, There are some very goofy things afoot here at the Odyssey Pavilion. So last year, of course, this was where you met the big man himself, St. Nick. Santa Claus was meeting guests here at the Odyssey Pavilion. As we've seen, Santa Claus has moved down the way. His sleigh is now parked over at Communicore Hall. However, there is a new Santa in town here at the Odyssey Pavilion. This is where you can meet Santa Goofy. Hi ho ho ho, Goofy. So good to see you. You look quite dashing. I feel like you should just wear this all year round. It looks very good on you. Yeah? It was actually a really charming meet and greet. Goofy was just in top form today, and it was so fun telling him all the things that are on my wish list for Christmas this year. While we were here, we checked out Glittering Grove, which is the Christmas tree display by Balsam Hill. If you've been considering one of those fancy Christmas trees from Balsam Hill and you want to see them in person, now is your chance. And finally, while you're here, this is also a stop on the holiday cookie stroll, because this is home to Holiday Hearth. Now they have lots of different cookies and holiday treats, but the one we're going to focus on is the one that's on the cookie stroll. It is actually a plant-based oatmeal cookie. I don't have a lot of experience with plant-based cookies, so maybe this is common, but the texture wasn't great. It was a little bit dried out. The flavor was fine. It was a pretty traditional oatmeal cookie. Nothing to write home about, but I would say it has not been one of my favorites on the cookie stroll, so unless you're a plant-based eater, this one's probably a skip. I do want to show you some really important tips to using the app when you're here at the festival. Just tap on that search icon at the bottom, type in Festival of the Holidays, it's going to pop up in that list, and when you tap in, you can find the whole guide right there on your phone. Now what I love about this is you can see all the different holiday storytellers, and when you tap on one, it'll show you the different times that they perform throughout the day. You can also find other helpful things like photo pass spots where you can get special magic shots that are just here for the festival. You can even tap on the little button there and it'll show you where that magic shot is on the map. I do think it's really important that you put at the top, the tippy top of your must-do list, the different holiday storytellers and the candlelight processional. While all the different festivals usually have some fun things that happen in addition to the food booths, this one is the one where I think the performers are the stars of the show. The food is great, but what you really want to make time for are those holiday storytellers. So for that reason, I'm not going to go around the World Showcase like I normally do. Instead, I'm going to make a beeline to my favorite of the holiday storytellers, La Befana. I really want to start my World Showcase adventure there. And I also want to check out the new holiday storyteller that was added this year over in Germany. So we're going to go do that first before we start venturing around the World Showcase, and we'll meet you in Italy.
In America, I know that you have a different gift giver, no? Is that right? Now who brings toys at Christmas time? It's Santa Claus. Well, I must tell you something. I have been bringing gifts down the chimneys of the Bambini a long time before old St. Nick was even a Bambino himself. La Befana has seen the star. It is why the sky is so bright these last few nights. Oh, La Befana, you pazzo, huh? You're crazy. Camels, stars, strange men in the middle of the night. Not a good idea. So, beautiful star is gone. La Befana waited too long. But now what can I follow to find this young king? And from that moment, I am searching for the Gesù Bambino, for the Christ child. And I look into the faces of all the children, and I think to myself, what if it's you? What if you are the Christ child? And you know, when they are sleeping, you think it could be so, huh?
It does not matter how many times I see that story, how many times I see La Befana, I get misty-eyed. I start to tear up every single year. If you've never had the pleasure of seeing La Befana, put this at the very top of your must-do list. It is like the star on top of the Christmas tree. It is not Christmas until I have seen La Befana. So, amazing. One other holiday storyteller you should put near the top of your list is the Barn Santa over in Norway. Unfortunately, they're doing some construction over there, so Barn Santa's kind of moved away from their normal spot, but the story is still just as magical. So that's another one you should probably check out while you're here if you can. But if you're not able to be here this year, or you're not able to see all the different holiday storytellers, I have some great news. And that is that last year we recorded all of the holiday storytellers in Epcot. We did it from multiple angles and cut it together. I'm actually really proud of how those turned out. And you can see them all completely free over on our Patreon channel. Just visit patreon.com/earscouts and you'll see a playlist there of all of the different holiday storytellers. They're just incredible. So if you miss any of them, I encourage you, go head over to Patreon and see the ones that you missed, because they are all wonderful in their own way. But La Befana, she's the star. Since we were already here in Italy, we decided we would go ahead and check out the Tuscany Holiday Kitchen. They have a new menu item this year. It's a sweet Italian sausage served with focaccia, and the whole thing is topped with kind of like a tomato and green pepper sauce. I was really wanting to love this new dish because it was sounding like something that could be a good addition to the menu. Unfortunately, execution here, not the best. The Italian sausage itself, I don't know if it's just the sausage that they chose or how it was prepared. It wasn't juicy at all. It was kind of dry. And then to make matters worse, the focaccia was super dry and kind of tough. It was really something you needed to grab a knife for. It was difficult to eat it with just a fork. So make sure you pick up a knife if you're going to try this one. But honestly, I'd recommend skipping it. It is not one of my favorite of the new food items this year. But right now, it's time to head down the road to Germany because Advent's Calendar, the new puppet show, is about to debut. I'm really excited to see this because, as I've said, the storytellers are my favorite part of this festival, and it's such a treat to get to see a brand new storyteller. Let's go check it out.
Where have I landed? I'm Heinz, the Heinz Adventure. Yes, I'm here to help, but no time to waste, no time to chat. Let's bake.
Oh Tannenbaum, wickelte deine Blätter.
I love the addition of puppets into the mix here at Festival of the Holidays, but most importantly, I love that there's a new holiday storyteller. I love that the festival is continuing to grow and evolve. While we were here, we did hit Bavaria Holiday Kitchen. This was the home to the winner of the holiday cookie stroll last year. The Linzer cookie was our favorite, and this year, once again, it is really stinking good. It's a delicate, perfectly prepared cookie. It's very rich and buttery, and most importantly, it's not very sweet on its own. The powdered sugar on top and the raspberry jam in the middle bring the sweetness, but the cookie itself is a little bit rich, buttery, and almost salty, but not super sweet. And of course, we had to get the fondue again, because how can you come to the Germany Pavilion and not get the fondue? It's so good. The fondue itself was a little bit sharper than it's been in years past, which I really liked. It had a nice saltiness to it as well. If you're in this neck of the woods and you're looking for a savory treat, this is the perfect comforting snack to get during the holidays. Even though we could just go ahead and continue reviewing the different food booths from where we were at in Germany, I don't know. I just like to begin at the beginning. And for me, the beginning of the World Showcase is Canada. So let's head into Canada and begin our culinary tour of the holidays around the world. Our next stop on the holiday cookie stroll is Yukon Holiday Kitchen. While we were there, we also had to try one of our favorite returning items, the beef bourguignon. Y'all, this thing was so good in years past, and it is maybe even better this year. It is one of my favorite savory dishes. The beef is just fall apart tender, and that red wine gravy has got so much flavor. Add in those mashed potatoes on the bottom, which are super rich and buttery and have a real homemade flavor to them. They've got little chunks of potato, which I love in mashed potatoes. It's still early, but so far, I think this is my favorite savory item that we've had. We also tried the new maple leaf cookie. The texture of this cookie was perfection. It's a shortbread cookie, but it was just so delicate. It had a nice butter flavor to it. The only thing that I didn't love about this one was actually the maple filling. It said it was a maple buttercream, but I don't know, there's something else going on in there. I could taste the maple, I tasted the butter, but then there was almost something just kind of funky about the flavor of the buttercream that kept me from completely loving this one. Before we head to our next booth, I do want to share a quick tip that is definitely going to come in handy if you plan on trying lots of cookies at your Festival of the Holidays visit. If you're like me and you're not sure that you really want to eat 5 holiday cookies in one day, let alone 13 of them, one thing that you might want to consider doing is bringing along some Ziplocs. That's what I do when I do festivals, and the cookie stroll is the perfect use of a Ziploc. These travel really well, and I always keep Ziplocs in my bag anyway, because when you're in theme parks, oftentimes you might want to ride a water ride where you're afraid of some of your electronics getting wet, or something else like your wallet getting soaked if you're on, say, Kali River Rapids. In those moments, a Ziploc bag inside your bag is a very handy thing to have on hand. We have arrived in the lovely France Pavilion, and we're here today for round 1 of a turkey showdown. That's because last year, one of our favorite dishes was over in the American Adventure. It was the holiday turkey meal that came with stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy, and it was delicious. It was one of our favorite things from the festival. Well, this year, France has a new turkey item on the menu, and I feel like the gauntlet has been thrown. Will France now have the best turkey item on the menu for the holidays, or will America reign supreme as the turkey heavyweight champion of the holidays? There's only one way to find out. We've got to try this new turkey. The France one is very French. This is not your typical holiday turkey, and I think if you're not a big fan of turkey itself, like turkey flavor, this one might be a winner for you, because this one features a lot of bacon and mushroom and pearl onion, and those are the flavors that are really coming through here. This is a distinctly French dish, and if you love things like coq au vin, then probably this is going to be a winner for you. If you're looking for more of a traditional holiday style turkey, then we'll have to see in round 2 if America reigns supreme. But for right now, I think France is a pretty good contender. If America is not quite as good as it was last year, this one might end up the winner. But you'll have to wait until we get to the American Adventure for round 2 to find out who is the turkey champion of this year's Festival of the Holidays. This year, L'Chaim returns with a black and white cookie, but they've shaken it up this year. It's got a new recipe and a new look. Let's start with the good news. The good news is the cookie is adorable this year. It is a Mickey-shaped black and white cookie. The other change this year is it is now an almond-flavored cookie. The almond flavor, though, was pretty subtle, not a strong almond flavor. Now let's talk about the bad news. The bad news is the cookie itself is just not very good. It is really dry, really crumbly. The white side of it is just super sweet and doesn't have a lot of flavor beyond sweet. The chocolate side is better because the chocolate does cut the sweetness a little bit. But all in all, the cuteness cannot make up for the fact that this is just a pretty dry and not so great black and white cookie. So if you're a fan of black and white cookies, you should probably skip this one. If you've never had it before and you just want something really cute and Mickey shaped for Instagram, I guess you could put it on your cookie stroll, but I would not recommend it. Our next stop is the Japan Pavilion for Shiwasu Holiday Kitchen. This is the location of one of Eric's favorite holiday treats, so we have to come by and try this one every year. For me, I'm not a huge fan of anything that lives in the water or swims, just not my jam. Eric, on the other hand, loves it, so he's gonna pinch hit this review. I am gonna say right off the top, though, that I miss the little star that used to be on the top. We'll show you what this looked like in years past, and normally it has a cute little star. I don't know, maybe they ran out of them or they're just not doing it this year, but the important part is what does it taste like? So for that, I'm going to toss it to Eric.
Today's sushi was super fresh. It's made with surimi, which basically is imitation crab. I felt like all the ingredients tasted very fresh, especially like the spicy mayonnaise added extra flavor to the dish. The little sprinkles on it actually added a little bit extra crunch. I personally enjoy it. It was very good.
For what it's worth, I did taste a little bit of it. It is definitely on the fishy side. So if you're like me, not a fan of fishy flavors, this is probably a skip. But it sounds like if you love sushi, this is a good one to pick. We're gonna have Eric review another dish up ahead at Refreshment Outpost because there is another seafood item on our list today. But our next stop is the American Adventure Pavilion, which features a holiday cookie stroll item and, more importantly, round 2 of our turkey showdown. We have a lot to talk about here in America, but the number one thing that we have to get out of the way first, round 2 of the turkey showdown. Last year, the holiday turkey meal here was perfection. The turkey was juicy and moist. It had lots of flavor. There were your green beans with your fried onions, stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, some cranberry sauce. This was the perfect holiday meal and beautifully executed. This year, I'm very sad to say, it did not rise to the same heights as it did last year. The stuffing was really dry. The mashed potatoes had almost no flavor. The turkey was not juicy and flavorful either. I will say the green beans were good, but if you finished a holiday meal and your only comment is the green beans were really good, that's not a heavyweight champion holiday meal there. So I am sad to say that this year, America loses the title. The Turkey Showdown champion for 2025 is La France. Congratulations, France Pavilion. Who knows, maybe next year, some more countries around the World Showcase will add holiday turkey dishes to their Festival of the Holidays menu, and we'll have a turkey cage match. But we still have a whole lot of things we need to talk about here in America, in addition to the disappointing holiday turkey meal. So there is a holiday cookie stroll cookie here. Last year, it was the disappointing Snickerdoodle cookie, which was neither really a Snickers tasting cookie or a Snickerdoodle tasting cookie. It was just kind of a weird amalgamation. This year, it is a chocolate cookie with salted caramel on top and a mound of Snickers pieces. Definitely an upgrade over the Snickerdoodle in my opinion, but still not a great cookie. Kind of has the same problem I had with the chocolate cookie back at the front of the park. It just didn't have a lot of chocolate flavor in the cookie itself. The salted caramel on top was really good, and of course, Snickers is always good, but the cookie was just kind of okay. I did like the texture though, and I do think it's a solid upgrade from Snickerdoodle, so there's that. I would also be remiss if I did not mention that there is a fabulous Muppets-themed magic shot you can get here, so I'm about to go hop in line for that. And I also have to mention what is probably the star of Festival of the Holidays, and that is the Candlelight Processional. Unlike in years past, you really do kind of need to get what they call the Candlelight Processional Dining Package if you want to get a decent seat for this. It's extremely popular, and most of the rows will be filled up with folks who are getting the dining package. Now, you can still see it. You have to wait in a pretty long line, and you're probably going to be close to the back of the theater, but you can see it without the dining package. For me, however, I do recommend, because it is a beautiful show. It's a wonderful thing to experience, and I prefer experiencing it a little bit closer. So I will be getting the dining package later this year because Marlee Matlin is going to be here, and I can't wait for that. That is going to be one of my favorite Candlelight Processionals. I just know it because I love Marlee Matlin. And you should check the schedule of who's going to be the celebrity narrator at the Candlelight Processional when you're here. If you've never done it before, it is a truly magical event where a narrator will tell the story of the birth of Jesus, and then this choir made up of cast members and the Voices of Liberty. They come in with the candles, hence the name Candlelight Processional. And the music is beautiful. The musicians are amazing. The arrangements are just fantastic. It is a really top-notch event and my absolute favorite show that happens during any of these different festivals. So you should put it on your must-do list. In addition to the dining package tip, another thing I would suggest is don't come to the first show. This show looks much better once it is fully dark outside. Just the effect of the candles in the darkness is more impactful, in my opinion, later. So I usually skip the first show and go to one of the two later ones. But for right now, I'm gonna hop in line to get that Muppets themed magic shot, and I will meet you at our next food booth. We have arrived at Refreshment Outpost, which is offering up a shrimp-based stew for the festival this year. And as soon as I smelled it, I just picked it up, and the smell wafting off of it told me this was definitely not for me. But thankfully, we do have Eric here to pinch hit yet again. And I gotta say, the look on his face as he was eating it tells me that maybe this one isn't quite as tasty as the one over in Japan.
Honestly, it would be a pass for me. It tastes like paella, but it's more watery. Now, the main flavor that you get, it's a fishy flavor. It has a lot of spices on it, but they don't really bring any flavor to it.
I took a little teeny tiny taste, and I can confirm the overwhelming flavor here is a fishy one, which is surprising because there's not that much shrimp in there, and the shrimp that are in there, they're like these little teeny tiny frozen cocktail shrimp. So something else is bringing all that fish flavor, maybe like a fish stock. But yeah, I think this one has officially earned a place on the naughty list. Our penultimate food booth is the Shanghai Holiday Kitchen in China. This year, the new menu item we were checking out is the barbecue char siu pork fried rice. I really enjoyed the flavors in this one. There was definitely a nice sweet and salty contrast happening. The pork itself was on the sweeter side with the barbecue glaze. The only thing I didn't like about the pork was it was a little bit fatty. I think if you don't mind fattier cuts of pork, that's probably not gonna bother you, but it just wasn't my jam personally. In terms of the rice, the flavor was great. It just tasted like it had been sitting for a little while. And I think a lot of that probably just comes down to the moment when you order it. If you had gotten it when this rice was prepared fresh, it probably was amazing because the flavor was great. It just had some grains of rice that were on the crunchy side, and that made this a good dish, but not a great dish. We reached our final food booth of the day, and I am so happy to report that Mexico is back, baby. Las Posadas Holiday Kitchen is back to being as good as ever. The last couple festivals, Mexico's just been kind of okay. Normally, it's one of my favorite booths, and I'm so happy to report that both of the things we tried this year were delicioso. The tostada de carne was my favorite of the two savory dishes on offer, but both of them were really good. The tostada was definitely freshly fried. It was crispy and delicious. I also really enjoyed the beef on top, but actually, believe it or not, my favorite part was the crispy onions and the queso and the beans. It just had such a homey flavor, and I really wanted to go back and order like 3 more. It was that good. The chicken tamal was really good as well. For me though, the star on that one was the mole. This was a really well-crafted mole. It had a lot of bold flavor, some spices in there, not too spicy. It just has a wonderful mix of spices that bring a lot of flavor. It's ever so slightly sweet, which I appreciate in a mole. Sometimes you get them and they're too sweet. This one just had a little hint of sweetness, and you could taste that chocolate on the finish. We'll be back later to try the churros. I think we have hit our sugar limit for the day, and we still have one more sugar stop to make. That's because we have completed the holiday cookie stroll. We've actually completed it several times over at this point. So we're gonna go get our passport stamped and collect our completer treat. Let's go do it. Well, we got our cookie stroll completer, and it's actually a pretty nice upgrade over previous years. Normally you would get another cookie, which after you've had, for us, 13 cookies, you don't really want another cookie, especially since it was never usually the best cookie of the night. Instead, you got this little cute holiday cookie stroll spatula that you can use when you're baking your own holiday cookies. I think that's a nice completer treat. I really think the entire cookie stroll was upgraded this year. Yes, there were some misses, but there were a lot of really good cookies. The Linzer cookie, always a favorite. But this year, I think my new favorites were the ones up there at Communicore Hall. We still have one cookie left down there we need to try. So I can't give the definitive list right now, but the Linzer cookie and that gingerbread cookie with the icing on top, those are gonna be pretty close to the top of the list. There's also one other cookie that we haven't gotten yet that is up at Sunshine Seasons, but I wanted to wait and get that one last because there is something that happens after dark at the Land Pavilion that you absolutely must make part of your Festival of the Holidays adventure. We're gonna head up there and try those final cookies in just a little bit, but first I'm waiting for night to fall. So I will meet you back here in the World Showcase after the sun has set and all of the Christmas decorations have been lit for the night. Well, night has fallen on the Festival of the Holidays. Everything is lit up and beautiful. We've made our way back over here to the experimental prototype cookies of tomorrow because the namesake cookie that was out of stock this morning is now back in stock. So we're able to try the third and final cookie here at this booth, and I've got to say, it was definitely worth the wait. This cookie is so cool. Like, I don't know how they create a hologram on the chocolate. I'm not sure how well you're gonna be able to see it on the video, but it's very cool looking in person. And best of all, the cookie tastes really good too. That chocolate disc on top is a solid wafer of dark chocolate. It's got a really nice chocolate flavor. It's not just decorative, it's good quality chocolate. It's on top of kind of like a traditional shortbread or sugar cookie. And then there's a layer on the bottom of something white. It's not quite a frosting. It's similar to a frosting, but it's not messy the way a frosting would be. So you can hold it with your hand and not get your hands all covered in goo. But it makes for a really cool and delicious cookie. I still think my favorite cookie from here is that gingerbread, but this one is a close second, and honestly, all of them are really good. It actually worked out perfectly for us to come back over this way though, because there is one more thing that you absolutely must put on your must-do list, and you kind of have to do this one after dark. I'm talking about Living with the Land, which is an attraction that's here all year round. But when you're here during Festival of the Holidays, there is an overlay called Glimmering Greenhouses. And this is an overlay you absolutely must do after the sun sets. So let's head next door to the Land Pavilion and hop aboard Glimmering Greenhouses. I'm having a very deja vu moment. I feel like last year when we were doing our Festival of the Holidays video, the last cookie we tried was the peanut butter cookie here at Sunshine Seasons, and we ended at Living with the Land, Glimmering Greenhouses. I think history's repeating itself. But I'm happy to say I do actually like the peanut butter cookie here better this year than I did last year. I don't know if maybe it's just grown on me or it really is a better cookie this year. The base cookie tastes like a traditional homemade peanut butter cookie. It's really tasty. It's got a nice texture to it. The main thing I'm liking about it this year, it does have a nice saltiness to it, and that is balancing out the sweetness of the frosting. Now for me personally, I still like this cookie better without the frosting, but I do feel like the frosting is less cloying than it was last year. So I would say this cookie is a winner, and if you're a big fan of peanut butter cookies, this is a really good peanut butter cookie that you could just scrape off that frosting if you felt like it was too much and still have a delicious cookie at the base. Well, that was the perfect ending to an amazing day here at the Festival of the Holidays. Well, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, help us out and give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell. That way you'll be notified whenever new videos like this come out. Before we go, I do want to give a huge thank you to our Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting us and making videos like this possible. If you'd like to join them and get access to exclusive bonus content, head on over to patreon.com/earscouts. And of course, I want to thank all of you for watching. Until next time, don't forget to think happy thoughts, everybody. We'll see you again real soon.